Good day, everybody. For this video lesson, we will be talking all about isomerism. Specifically, we will be dealing with stereoisomerism and its two types, enantiomers and diastereomers. Now, this won't be a very long discussion on the topic. I will just be giving you the basics of the nature of these molecules. What are their properties? What differentiates them from one another? Give you ample knowledge to get you by through our discussion and help you in answering questions that you'll be encountering in future exams and tests that you'll be having. So, without further ado, let's go right in to our discussion. So, what are isomers? Now, molecules can differ in the way the atoms are arranged. The same combination of atoms can be assembled in more than one way. Now, these compounds are known as isomers. Isomers are molecules with the same molecular formulas but different arrangement of atoms. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that there are some molecules possessing the same molecular formula. For example, they both have six carbons, eight hydrogens, two oxygens. For example, muna ang chemical formula that is the same among these types of molecules. However, these atoms can be arranged differently from one another, thereby making each of this unique arrangement of the atoms a different molecule also from one another. So that is what we mean by isomers. Molecules having the same molecular formula, it's just that ang ilang atoms is arranged differently from one another. Like in the same way as this analogy, think of a bracelet, for example. So a bracelet has beads, right? Na siya mga beads. Now, out of the beads of the same necklace or bracelet rather, we can arrive with a lot of different arrangements using the beads ato nga bracelet. So again, using the same atoms, if we try to apply it to isomers, using the same atoms in a molecule, we can come up with different types of arrangements of different types of molecules. Mauna din na karon ang isomers. In the same way as our hands, another analogy to isomerism. Now, our hands may have the same number and kinds of fingers, but they are, all in all, two different hands. They are isomeric. Now, atong duha ka kamot, although they have both the same kinds of fingers, they also have the same number of fingers, but the way these fingers are arranged are different between the left and the right hand, right? Therefore, these two hands, although same lang sila og number of fingers, o same lang sila sa kinds of fingers present, they are still two different hands. Now, to give you further view into what I'm talking about, we have here um, a molecular formula given. So C2H6O1. Therefore, there are two carbons in this molecule, six hydrogens, and one oxygen atom. So from this chemical formula, we can come up with different arrangements using the atoms given. Now, possible structures would be the structure for ethanol. Another would be the structure for dimethyl ether. Now, both of these molecules, the ethanol and the dimethyl ether, have two carbons, six hydrogens, and one oxygen. If inyo nang ihapon ng atoms present in these two molecules, you can see that they have the same number of atoms. Duha ka carbon, six ka hydrogen, and one oxygen. It's just that lahi-lahi ang pagka-arrange sa mga atoms between the two, right? So look closely into the slide and you can see the difference that I'm talking about. Makita ninyo na lahi ang arrangement sa atoms of the elements found in these molecules. Therefore, these two are different molecules, despite the fact that they have the same molecular formula. Tungod kay lahi ang arrangement sa atoms, their structure, they are different molecules from one another. Sama niya kung buto sabot um, with isomers having the same molecular formula, but their atoms are just arranged differently. Now let's head to stereoisomers. Stereoisomers is one example of an isomer. Now, unsa din is specifically ning stereoisomers? Now, stereoisomers have the same connectivity in their atoms, but a different arrangement in three-dimensional space. So, there are different classifications of stereoisomers depending on how the arrangements differ from one another. Now, in stereoisomers, the atoms are bonded in the same order in the two molecules. So same ang order sa pagkalink sa atoms in the structure. However, ang position of the atoms in the three-dimensional space is different from one another. Later, you will be able to see that more through the visuals that I will be presenting to everybody. Okay. Now we have two types of stereoisomers. We have the enantiomers and the diastereomers. So what is the difference between the two? Let's start first with enantiomers. Now, enantiomers are stereoisomers whose molecules are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. Again, kaning mga enantiomers, molecules ni sila wherein they are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. They mirror one another. To give you a better visual of what I'm talking about, let's head to this slide right here. In this example, you can see that these two molecules have the same components, right? They have the same group attached to their carbons. You can see both an H and an OH attached to their three chiral centers. However, makita ninyo na at their chiral centers, the groups mirror one another. What am I talking about? Take a look at carbon number 2 among the two molecules. Makita ninyo that in the first molecule, at carbon number 2 or at the first chiral center, H is at the left side. OH is on the right side. In the second molecule, OH is on the left side, H is on the right side. Therefore, they mirror one another. The same is true with the third carbon, wherein OH is at the left, H is at the right. At the second molecule, H na pod ang nasa left, OH na pod ang nasa right. As well as the fourth carbon or the third chiral center, you can see that H is on the left side, OH is on the right side. And on the second molecule, OH is on the left side, H is on the right side. Now, for you to determine kung mirror images ba na sila or not, you just have to look at the chiral center of those molecules. Ayaw na ninyo bali-balihan ng first and last nga carbon atoms. Titulo mo mag-base sa ilaang chiral centers. For example, in this given molecules, you look at carbons 2, 3, and 4. Or technically, asa nag-intersect ng duha ka lines, kana na ay left and right side nga ma-form, when they mirror each other gani, then buot pa sabot, kana sila nga mga molecules are enantiomers. So later, if I will be giving you an exam, and I will be asking you to identify the following as enantiomers or diastereomers. Now, for you to be able to identify if kana siya nga molecules are enantiomers, again, lantaon lang ninyo ang attachments at the chiral centers. Pag they mirror one another gani, then that means that that is an enantiomeric pair, or they are enantiomers. Now let's go to the second type of stereoisomers, the diastereomers. Diastereomers are stereoisomers whose molecules are not superimposable mirror images of each other. They do not mirror one another. What do we mean by this? Take a look at these two molecules right here. Makita nato sa carbon number 2. Makita nato that the H and the OH are what? Attached similarly between the two molecules, right? At carbon number 2 or the first chiral center, makita ninyo nga H is on the left side among the two molecules, diba? Whereas the OH are both on the right side. Despite the fact na at the third and fourth carbon, although they mirror one another, tungod kay ang second carbon wala nag-follow sa condition nga they should be mirroring one another. Therefore, this molecule is an example of a diastereomer. Now, I will be giving you exercises on this one for you to practice identifying between enantiomers and diastereomers. So again, it's very easy actually to identify the two. Pag they mirror gani one another at their chiral centers, then those are enantiomers. When they do not mirror one another, then those are diastereomers. So you answer the given activities on this one for you to practice more on how to differentiate the two types of stereoisomers.